This is a high stress job. And here's the reason why. It's impossible not to think about the commission when you're doing a deal. As I said, realtors are terrible at math, except for one thing. They're great at calculating 3% of any number, right? A $700,000 deal, that's $21,000, right? Realtors know. And then they can do, whatever their commission split is of their brokerage, right? So the problem is what causes the stress is the second you get that deal under contract, okay, you've calculated the commission. So when that deal gets fuzzy, right, or you get into the inspections or you get, the financing gets a little wonky or whatever, you've won and lost that money like 10 times throughout the course of the transaction. It's like, I got $10,000. Oh man, I just lost $10,000. Oh wait, I got the $10,000 back. Oh, I just lost it again.
Oh, $21,000 slot machine pull. Oh, zero.
Exactly. So it just feels like you can't help but think about that, right? That's where your brain is going to go, especially if it's one of your first deals. And so it's just going to be high stress now. It's a roller coaster of emotion.
The more familiar you get with the process, the bigger you build your pipeline, all of that stress starts to diminish. I mean, I'm not saying that deals aren't stressful from time to time, but if you've got a big pipeline and you've done this more than, a couple times now, and you're starting to understand exactly how everything works, and you're starting to see more and more different scenarios and learn how to navigate them, it gets a lot less stressful. So the only thing that I can tell you about this is just to get out there and do it in the field and just be a real estate agent, learn the ropes, and it'll be less stressful.
It will. Yeah. The more experience you get and you start to sort of temper those highs and the lows. But what I can tell you, which is a little bit of a rabbit trail, the more you can be, how do I want to explain this? Like the people who try to grab a deal and tear it through, right? You're more likely to lose the deal because the clients are going to feel pressured or people are going to feel pressured. The more you can kind of like give yourself some time to process, give the clients time to process, all of that stuff, the better the transaction is going to go. So as much you can, I don't know if deferential is the right word, but basically just have some peace that things are like 90% of these deals are going to close because you got somebody that really wants to sell it. Then you have somebody that really wants to buy it. Okay. Or they wouldn't even be there. So have some faith, right? 90% of them are going to go through. 10% of them are not. You can't really change those numbers. And the more you have in the pipeline, the better.
Nick talked about this a lot and I thought this was a good thought. And I think both of us do this subconsciously, but he just put it into words. It's just making sure that people know what happens next. And I think the more you can do that, the more there's not that unknown around the corner. People get less crazy and people get less stress, which means less stress for you. So even if it's letting them understand what happens to earnest money when contingencies fall apart or things like that. So it's like, what if the more they know about what happens next, I feel like everybody's lives are easier.
Yeah.